Welcome back guys, welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial I will show you guys how to create this dog vector in Adobe Illustrator. Even if you are new to Adobe Illustrator, I will show you guys the basics and the interface and where to find the tools. You can follow up from there. Alright, so as you guys can see on my screen, we have this cute puppy illustration. I'm going to recreate this same artwork again and I will show you guys step by step how I creating it. Alright guys, so before we start, let's see our sponsored message first. Today's video is brought to you by Wondershare Mockit. Wondershare Mockit is an online all-in-one design platform. With Mockit you can create prototypes, graphic designs, flowcharts, even mind maps. With its simple and easy to use graphic interface, even without any graphic design knowledge, you guys can easily pick up and use it like a pro. Best part, Wondershare Mockit is an online application. So you can access your file anywhere you want and you don't need to install any applications. And with its thousands of templates, icons and components already available for you guys to use and modify, you can create prototypes and other design quickly and professionally. Same as any traditional graphic designing application, Mockit also provides you with powerful tools. Sign out for free and try it out. You can find the link for Mockit under the description below. Alright guys, okay, so first thing I want to say, goal of this tutorial is not to teach you guys how to draw this dog shape, okay? Of course, you will be able to draw this dog shape once you complete this tutorial, okay? But the most important part is, while I create this tutorial, I will show you guys each tools, all these palettes, how you can customize your Illustrator and how you can use Illustrator to create any shapes. So I will be spending time on each and individual tools for beginners to understand, okay? Because most of you guys asking for tutorials, some of you guys already know how to use the Illustrator, some of you are new, okay? So I will create this for beginners. Users who already know how to use Illustrator can also follow this tutorial. You can just skip the parts where I elaborate small basic stuff, okay? Alright, so this tutorial is going to be very long, so I'm going to cut it into multiple parts, so I won't bore you with a long video, okay? And also, if you guys following this tutorial, please try to recreate after every video so we can easily follow up from the next video, okay? Alright, so I think I have talked too much, so let's go straight to our tutorial. First thing, let's create a new document. To create a new document, go into File and New, and in here you will find different presets. These will be based on your Illustrator versions and your previous use. I'm just going to select this size in here. You guys can select any size you want. And for the color mode, I'm going to select RGB. This is only going to be shown in screen, so I will select RGB in here. And in here you can rename your file. You can name your file whatever you want. I'm just going to say dog or something like that. And this is width and height, and below you can choose resolution. This resolution will not affect your file. This is just for you guys to see on your screen. So this is a vector file, so there is no resolution. You can expand to any size you want. That's the beauty of Adobe Illustrator. All right, and that's it guys. So let's create our file. Alright, so we have created a brand new file in here. I'm going to close my previous artwork in here. You can close it. Okay, now if you are very new to Adobe Illustrator, in this tutorial I'm not going to go in and show you guys every tool and all the interface components in here, but I will show you guys the basics and the necessary ones for this tutorial. If you guys want to learn more about the interface and the tools, you guys can find it in this tutorial in here, okay? Alright, so what you guys see on your left in here is the tools. These are the tools which we are going to use for artworks, and on the right we have the properties and layers and libraries, colors and stuff like that. Okay, and in addition you guys also see some additional palettes in here. Probably you won't see these on your screen. These I have manually placed in here because these palettes I will be using frequently when I'm creating an artwork. That's why I place them in here. If you guys want to do a similar setup, you can go into Windows and activate the palettes you want. For an example, if I deactivate this Pathfinder palettes, because that's the topmost palette and all other palettes are attached to that palette, all of my additional palettes are gone. It will be hidden, and I can reactivate it by just selecting it back again. Okay, next thing is layers. All the objects you make on your artboard can be found in these layers in here. These layers are similar to Photoshop layers, if you know how Photoshop layers work. But instead of creating its own layer, these objects you place on your screen will be placed inside the main layer as a sub-layer, something similar to the group layers in Photoshop. Maybe it's confusing for you guys now, but I will show you guys how. Okay, so let's get started our drawing. First thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the background. For the background, I'm going to draw a rectangle. So you can find the rectangle in here in the tools. Select the rectangle, and I'm going to cover the entire artboard. As you can see, just drag and drop, click, drag and drop. And once I place the artwork, you guys can see the new rectangle has been placed inside this layer as a sub layer. Okay, so for the colors, you can see our rectangle is white color and has a solid black stroke around it. In Illustrator, you get two different set of colors for the stroke and the fill color. Every object will have its own stroke and a fill color. So you can select them in here, fill color and the black color for the stroke. You can also switch it back and forth with this button in here. Or in below, you have these three buttons. You can choose solid, gradient, or even none. So for our stroke, select the stroke and select the none, because we don't need any stroke for the background. And go back to the fill color. Select the fill color and double click, which will open up the color picker, and we can choose a color from here. I'm going to choose a blue color similar to our previous artwork, and yes, this is fine. Okay, so now we have selected our colors. We go back to our layers and change the layer name to PG. I will change the main layer name also to PG, and I will close this one, and I'm going to create a new layer. We will place our new artwork on that new layer, and I'm going to lock this layer. You can lock this background layer by clicking on this lock icon in here, so that we won't accidentally make changes to the background layer. And to place new artworks, you have to select the new layer. Just select this layer in here. Now we can start working on our actual artwork. I'm going to start with the face. For the face, I'm going to select ellipse, a circle in here. To draw a circle or ellipse, you can go back to the same rectangle tool. And in this rectangle tool, you see an arrow in here. So that means we have more objects inside this tool. Press and hold on this rectangle tool, which will bring up all other tools inside this tool set. Okay, so you can see the ellipse in here. Just select the ellipse and go back to the artboard and draw a ellipse. We don't need to draw a perfect circle. If you need to draw a perfect circle, just hold the shift key, which will draw a perfect circle. But in our case, we need something like an oval object like the one on the screen. Alright, okay, the fill color and the background color are the same. So let's change the color. Select the object, double click on the fill color, which will open up the color picker. I'm just going to add in an orange color in here. These are not the exact colors. Later we'll work on the colors. This look fine and okay. Our head area is done. Next step, I'm going to draw the bottom part of the face where the mouth is going to be. Okay, for this, also going to use a similar object. So let's copy another ellipse from this face ellipse. To do that, select the rectangle, hold on to your Alt key and drag, which will duplicate your object. If you are using Mac, hold on to your Command key. Okay, so let's bring this object into the correct place, which is in here. And I'm going to reshape, rescale this object to look like a face area. Okay, I think this looks fine. Okay, so now we have two objects. Each of them are two different ellipses, so we need to make them as one single object. You can do that in multiple ways. You can select both of these objects and go to Pathfinder to create one object, or another easier way, go to the shape builder option in here, select the shape builder tool and just select the topmost object, and you can see when I select, it's dividing into pieces based on the second shape. So all we need to do is drag until the last piece. So once you drag, you will see all three pieces will connect as one object. Okay, cool. So the next step, I'm going to make some changes to the shape. For this, I'm going to use the direct selection tool in here. Once you click on the direct selection tool, you can see anchor points on your artwork. As you guys know, Illustrator is a vector graphics software, so anchor points are very important to any shape. So all vector shapes in Illustrator will have these anchor points, and you can edit them and change them and affect the overall shape with it. Okay, and with the direct selection tool, you can select individual anchor points and change the shape. Okay, so let's change our shape to fit into our original design. Okay, for this I'm going to select this anchor point in here and move it upwards using the arrow keys in the keyboard. You can use the mouse, but arrow keys are easier, so I'm using the arrow keys to move it up. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to select this anchor point in here. For this, I want to change the slope, change the angle of this curve. To do that easily, you can use these Bezier corners, Bezier points, which is this line in here. So you can bring it upwards, which will affect the angle of the curve. You guys need to try this part out, then only you will understand what I mean. If not, it will be a little bit difficult to understand. You have to try this for yourself, then you will know what I mean in here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with the other side also. I'm just going to bring this slope as a little bit pointy. Okay, all right, so now let's make these corners as rounded corners. Okay, to do that, just select these. Once you select these, you will see a circle in here. Just select this circle and drag it out. So while you're dragging it, you can see our corner is changing into rounded corners. Okay, but there is another anchor point in here. So this anchor point cannot pass through this anchor point. That's why we have this maximum limit. We can easily correct this. All we need to do is delete the second anchor point. So this will be useful for future use also. I will show you guys how to delete these anchor points in two ways. Of course, you guys can select the anchor point and use the keyboard to delete the anchor point. So that's not what I mean. Yes, it will delete the anchor point, but it will break the shape. So we need the continuous closed shape, but we need to take out the anchor points. To do that, we need a minus pen tool. But if you guys see in my toolbox, there is no minus pen tool. So where is the minus pen tool? Okay, so whatever tools you see in here are not full Illustrator tools. These are the tools most of the time you will see by default. There are more tools in here. If you go in here and click this button, you will see more tools in here. These tools, based on your preference, you can just drag and drop into your toolbox. So you can simply select the minus tool and drag and drop to wherever you want. So I'm going to place it inside this pen tool area. Once you place it into the toolbox, you can simply select it and click on this anchor point. It will delete the anchor point. But when I delete this anchor point, you can see the overall shape of this object also changing. We don't want that. We need to keep the shape as it is. We just need to minus off this anchor point. Okay, so we can do that by same with the same tool, but this time click with the shift key. When you click with the shift key, you can see the anchor point has been deleted, but the overall shape remains more or less the same. It's not 100% same. You can't delete anchor points and keep the shape as it is, but Illustrator will try to keep the shape as similar as possible to earlier. So this is good enough for me. So I'm going to stick to this design. Okay, same for other side also. Now we have deleted these anchor points. Now we can make this curveness bigger. Now select this. I'm going to go back to earlier version, Ctrl Z, and now I'm going to make this curve bit bigger. Okay, first delete the additional anchor point with the shift key, and then make the corners to smooth rounded corners by dragging the rounded corner circles. Same for the other side as well. Alright, so let's play with the side anchor points. I want to make the bottom part of the face little bit more pointier, and I want to bring the curveness to little bit more pointier as well. So to do that, again we have to select this individual anchor point in the side. I will adjust these bezier points to look a bit more pointy. I will do that to the both side. Okay, so I think this shape is looking good. Maybe let's bring the bottom portion to a little bit more down like this in here. I'm using the keyboard to make that happen. Okay, I think overall this shape looks fine. So let's make this a little bit more smaller and move on to the next step. Next step is to drawing the body, the neck area, actually the chest area. So for that also I'm going to use a basic shape. Again, the ellipse tool, go into ellipse tool and draw an oval shape like this in here. And then I will adjust the shape something similar to this and in here. And also I will use the direct selection tool and select the bottom anchor point. And let's make some changes to these anchor points. I want to make this almost to a pointy corner, so we can do that easily. If you select these bezier points and move towards the anchor point, you can see the curveness is getting thinner and pointier, but you can see it's only affecting one side of the bezier. To affect the both side, you can do that very easily. Just press the S key in your keyboard, which will affect both sides. So once you press the S key, you just bring one side towards the anchor points, the other side will mirror the same effect. Okay, all right, now let's bring this anchor point towards to the upside. Okay, and to keep the objects clear, I'm just going to apply a darker tone color for this fill color. These are not the final colors, later we will apply proper colors. This just to see and differentiate the objects. Okay, now let's bring the head to the front. You can do that easily. You can just select the head and right click, and in here you can select bring to front, or you can go to layers and you can move the layers to the front. So upmost layer will be on the top and the behind layer will be on the bottom. Okay, all right. Okay, so now I will adjust the shape a bit like this in here. Okay, we have the head and we have the chest. Maybe now let's bring this one a little bit more longer like this. Okay, yeah, now you can see it's almost, the neck portion is almost fitting into the head and the bottom part. Okay, so now I don't want the part which is behind the head from the neck. I only want the visible part. You don't have to do that, but I'm just doing it here because I want to show you guys how to cut an object like this for future reference. Okay, to do that, I'm going to draw a rectangle on top in here, which is going to be from here to here. So the overlapping portion is going to be the visible part. All right, so now select both of these objects and go into the shape builder tool. As you guys can already see, when I bring over the shape builder tool, it's already detecting different portions of these artworks. So all we need to do is click on the center portion, which will cut that from the main portion and make it as a separate object. Okay, so just click it, and now we have divided it, and now double click. I'm going to copy this portion, Ctrl C for copy and paste it on place, Shift Ctrl V, and we don't need the excess portion. I will delete the excess portion. Okay, if you just select Ctrl V, it will paste somewhere else. Just in random place. So you have to press Shift Control V so that it will place exact place as you copied from. Okay. Now again, let's bring the head to the front. Right click, arrange and bring to the front. Alright. Next, let's start drawing the legs. I will start with the behind legs first. For this also I'm going to use basic shapes, but this time I'm going to use rectangles. Okay, so let's go to a rectangle in here, select the rectangle and draw tall rectangle like this in here first. Okay, now let's apply a darker tone for this rectangle. You can simply press I in your keyboard or select the eyedropper tool in here, and you can select the color which you want to select from. And for example, this one here, just click on it, it will apply that color. Okay, so I want to make it a little bit more darker so we can differentiate easily in our artwork. So I will make it a little bit more darker like this. All right. Again, let's copy one more rectangle from here. Alt and drag. And this one is going for the toes. So let's bring it smaller like this and place it in here like this. Okay. All right. So make sure your bottom lines are aligning properly. And then what we can do is let's make the paws a little bit more shorter like this. We can adjust it later also. Don't worry about it now. Now select the topmost anchor point and make this one as a rounded corner. Okay. So you should look for a shape something like this. I think this is fine. All right. So now, and again, these two are two separate objects, two separate rectangles. So we need to make them as one object. Select both of them. This time I'm going to use the Pathfinder tool. Select both of these objects, go to Pathfinder and select the unite, the first one, unite Pathfinder, which will unite both of these objects as one object. Okay. All right. So now we have one object in here. Now we can play with these anchor points. Okay. First, I'm going to select these anchor points and bring it towards inside like this. And also I will select the second anchor point, this one, and make it as a rounded corner. All right. So again, I will select the bottom anchor point and make this one also a rounded corner like this. So we will have some sort of organic shape in here. And this one also, select this one and make as a rounded corner like this. Okay. Okay. And this one a smaller rounded corner. All right. So our shape is building up slowly. Now we can make these smaller. Select these anchor points and bring it inside. I think a little bit more. All right. So this look like behind the back leg. Okay. So I think this shape is good enough for now. Okay. All right. So let's bring this to the correct position in here. It should be in here. Maybe let's make it bigger. It should be around this size. And one more thing I need to do is I need to make the other corner, this corner also a rounded corner. Select the rounded, select direct selection and make it as a rounded corner. Okay, so we are almost there. Next step, let's draw the front legs. Before that, I need to bring these legs to behind. And again, select this object, both of these objects, and right click and arrange, bring it to front. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's start drawing the front leg. Again, I'm going to do the same step. Go to rectangles and draw a rectangle in here, tall rectangle, and draw another rectangle. This is for the toes, smaller rectangle like this, similar to previous one actually, nothing much different. And maybe let's bring it a little bit more bigger. All right. Now select both of these objects and go to Pathfinder and unite them. So select both of them and go to Pathfinder and merge the first one, merge together. Okay. So now we are going to repeat the same steps as earlier, but the shape is going to be a little bit more different. Okay. So you guys can follow along. First, I'm going to make this shape look like an L shape, something like this in here. Okay. And then I need an additional anchor point in this line. Okay, to do that, go into the pen tool. This time, instead of minus pen tool, we need to select the plus pen tool. Okay, select the plus pen tool and just go in here and add a new anchor point. Plus pen tool will add anchor points. Okay, so now you can move this anchor point. You can see it's affecting the whole shape. Okay, but the shape is looking like a corner, which is fine. Now all we need to do is make this one as a rounded corner. Same as earlier, just select this circle and drag, which will make this one as a rounded corner. Okay, now let's delete this additional anchor point. You need to use the minus pen tool for this one and delete it. All right, and let's adjust this basic point to be a little bit more curvy, and maybe we will do the same like earlier. Let's make this a little bit more curvy like this. Okay, so let's do the same step as earlier. Make this one as a rounded corner like this. Same for the toes also. Select this and make as a rounded corner, and below as well. This one is going to be smaller rounded corner like this. Okay, and let's bring all of these little bit more inside, so the toe will look little bit more smaller like this. Okay, same for this point also. Make it as rounded corners, and yeah, almost there. The last step in here is let's bring these towards inside. Okay, so now it look like the front leg. Okay, so let's place it in here to the front, and let's bring the head and the chest to the front. Okay, all right. Now we need to duplicate and mirror both of these front and back legs to other side as well. That's very easy. Select both of these and go to this tool in here, mirror tool. You can find it in here, and all you need to do is select the vertical mirror, not the horizontal, vertical mirror, and make sure you are making a copy. If you directly say okay, it will mirror the selected object. So you need to make a copy, which will place a new mirrored copy like this. All right, so now let's arrange them properly. So this look like a very fat dog, so we have to adjust this to fit into proper proportions. I think yeah, like this is fine. Okay, let's keep it a chubby dog. Okay, it's fine. All right, next step is drawing the body. Actually, it will be the bottom part of the body, actually the neck portion. Earlier we have created the front neck, so this is going to be the behind of the neck. So I want to make this one a little bit smaller, similar shape as the neck on top, but smaller. So I will just drag the same shape and make as a smaller object and place it in here. Okay, like this. All right, and let's bring it. I think this should be like this. Okay, we can adjust this shape, guys. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. I'm just giving you guys an idea. You guys can do different shapes also. Okay, like this, and let's make some adjustments. Maybe let's make this one a little bit smaller, and we can adjust the legs here and there until we get the correct shape. So yeah, I think this look better now. Okay, yeah, this look better. All right, okay, so let's bring this one smaller. Fine. Last step for this part of this tutorial, part 1, is to drawing the ears. Okay, for ears also I'm going to use basic shapes. This time again I'm going to use the ellipse. Select the ellipse, draw a small circle. This time I'm drawing a circle, so hold on to the shift key and draw a circle like this, and draw another circle a little bit more bigger like this in here, and place it next to each other like this. Okay, now you need to overlap these two circles, then only you will get this shape properly. If not, you won't get a proper shape. Okay, select both circles and go to Pathfinder and unite them. Once you unite them as one object, go and select the top anchor points and make a shape like this with using the rounded corners. Okay, and in the bottom you have to do something similar to this, something like this, smaller curve. And now rotate the objects like this and bring it to the correct place. You can rotate around until you see a proper hair shape. I think this is good enough for now. And alright, so I'm going to make a copy, duplicate again like earlier. Select the object, go to reflect and make a vertical mirror object. Alright, and place that in here. Okay. Alright, so now we need to bring these ears to behind. Let's align them first. Now again we have to bring this to behind like this. Also I need to make this a little bit more bigger and floating, so I will select both and bring it like this until the neck portion. Alright, okay. Alright guys, so we almost done the first part of this tutorial. This is just to make the dog puppy shaped silhouette. I think we have already achieved that part, and hopefully you guys will follow this step-by-step tutorial, and then we can move on to the part 2. As I said, goal of this tutorial is not only to teach you guys how to draw a puppy. The goal is to teach you guys the Illustrator. So instead of going in tool by tool and palette by palette, I will design something like this and explain it to you guys, so you guys can know where the tools are and how to use those tools. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you guys like this kind of tutorials, please give me a thumbs up, and also if you have any questions, you can leave a comment. I will try to answer as much as I can. And if you want these type of tutorials and even more advanced tutorials, you can support this channel by supporting my Patreon. I have created a new Patreon page in here. With the Patreon page, you will also get access to all of my premium tutorials and slower versions of my speed art videos as well. Alright, if you want to support, please find the link under the description below. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next part.